female CEO came on a blind date in a wheelchair. What the single dad did next left her stunned. Ethan never thought he'd agree to a blind date. As a single dad raising his 8-year-old daughter, Lily, his life was filled with school drop-offs, late-night homework sessions, and double shifts at the auto shop. Love had taken a back seat, but his best friend insisted he try, and before Ethan knew it, he was sitting at a quiet cafe, waiting nervously. When she arrived, the room seemed to hush. She was striking dark hair, pulled into a sleek bun, eyes sharp yet gentle. But what caught Ethan off guard wasn't her beauty, it was the polished wheelchair she maneuvered with effortless grace. "Hi," she said warmly, extending her hand. "I'm Claire." Some men had walked out on her dates before she even got the chance to order. Claire knew the look too well, the discomfort, the pity, the awkward excuses. But Ethan's face didn't shift. Instead, his eyes softened with curiosity and respect. "Ethan," he said, shaking her hand firmly. "Thanks for meeting me." As they talked, Claire revealed little bits about herself. She had been in an accident years ago, but she didn't dwell on it. Instead, she spoke about her passions, business, art, travel. What she didn't mention was that she was the CEO of a major company. She wanted, just for once, to be seen as a woman, not a headline. The waiter brought their drinks, and Ethan noticed Claire struggling to reach her cup across the table. Without hesitation, he moved it closer, not with pity, but with the same easy instinct he used when helping his daughter with homework. "Thanks," she said softly, surprised. Then came the moment that stunned her. Lily, who had been reading quietly at a corner table, walked over. "Daddy, can I show Miss Clare my drawing?" she asked. Ethan smiled, nodding. Claire leaned down as Lily proudly displayed her picture of a princess sitting in a wheelchair, crown on her head, smiling wide. Claire froze. She looked at Ethan, eyes wide. "She drew this just now." He chuckled. "Yeah, she likes drawing people the way she sees them. She says princesses don't always need glass slippers. They can have wheels too." Claire's throat tightened. So many people only saw what she had lost, but this child, and her father, saw her strength, her presence, her wholeness. For the first time in years, Claire felt something deeper than admiration. She felt hope. Ethan didn't know her last name, her wealth, or her title. All he knew was that she was someone worth listening to, worth respecting, and that, more than anything, left Claire stunned. Ethan sat nervously at the corner table of Calf Willow, tapping his calloused fingers against the coffee cup. He hadn't been on a date in years. Since his wife passed, his world had been about one thing: his daughter, Lily. Now, at 8 years old, she was the reason he got up every morning, worked long shifts at the auto shop, and still managed to smile through the exhaustion. His friend Jake had convinced him to try a blind date. "You deserve a life too, man," Jake had said, punching his shoulder. "Who knows? You might actually like her." The cafe door chimed, and Ethan's eyes lifted. A woman entered, delicate, self-assured, with dark hair neatly pinned back. Her presence commanded attention, without demanding it. But Ethan's gaze dropped to the wheelchair she guided with practiced ease. It was sleek, modern, almost a part of her. For a second, Ethan hesitated, not because of the wheelchair but because she carried herself with such grace that he worried he might not be enough. "Hi," she said, rolling forward with a warm smile. "You must be Ethan." "I'm Claire." Her voice was steady, but inside, Claire braced herself. Too many times, she'd seen men's faces shift, the forced smile, the quick excuse, the pity, but Ethan's didn't. His expression softened, not with discomfort, but with respect. "Claire," he said, standing and shaking her hand firmly. "It's really nice to meet you." They began to talk. Claire shared stories of her travels before her accident, her love of art galleries, her habit of trying every new dessert spot in town. She avoided mentioning her company: no boardrooms, no balance sheets, no hint that she was a powerful CEO. Tonight, she wanted to be just Claire. Ethan listened intently, leaning forward, asking questions that weren't surface level. Not once did his eyes flick to her chair with pity. He treated her like he treated everyone else, like a person, not a condition. When the waiter brought their drinks, Ethan noticed Claire trying to reach for her cup. Before she could struggle, he gently slid it closer. Not a word, not a pause, just an instinct. The same way he helped Lily with homework, or tied her shoes when she was in a rush. Claire blinked, surprised. "Thank you," she said softly. "You're welcome," Ethan replied with a small smile. Sipping his coffee from across the cafe, Lily padded over, holding a piece of paper and crayons. She had been drawing while they talked. "Daddy," she whispered, tugging his sleeve. "Can I show Miss Clare my picture?" Ethan nodded, and Lily climbed onto a chair beside Claire. She proudly held up her drawing, a princess in a gown, crown on her head, sitting in a wheelchair. Claire's breath caught. Her eyes widened. "You drew this just now?" "Unhung," Lily grinned. "You're really pretty, so I made you a princess. Princesses don't all need glass slippers, right? Some can have wheels too." Claire's throat tightened. Her eyes shimmered. In all her years, in all the looks and whispers, no one had ever shown her that kind of unfiltered acceptance. People always saw her as broken, as the woman in the chair. But here was a little girl who saw her as a princess. She looked at Ethan. He wasn't looking smug or proud of himself. He was simply smiling, watching his daughter make a new friend. Claire was stunned. Not because Ethan treated her differently, but because he didn't. He didn't hesitate, didn't pity, didn't make her feel less. For the first time in a long time, Claire felt something warm and hopeful flicker inside her. Maybe, just maybe, this blind date wasn't the mistake she feared. And Ethan, he had no idea she was a CEO. He just knew she was someone worth knowing, worth listening to, worth respecting. And that was exactly what left her speechless.